This represents all of the water that's on the face of the earth. So all of the water that's on the face of the earth is represented here. Okay? The blue represents the greatest quantity of water we have covering the face of the earth. The most water we have on the face of the earth is represented here by the blue. What kind of water is this? What is the great water?
Salt water.
Very good. Outstanding. Can we drink salt water?
No.
Why not?
Because it has too much salt.
Too much salt. It'll make us sick. It'll dehydrate us. Can't drink that, okay? The green represents another kind of water that's on the face of the earth. Now, before you say anything, I want you to raise your hands and I'll pick you. But listen, before you listen up. Not all water comes in a liquid form. So what kind of water might this be? Not all water is in a liquid form.
It might be the Arctic, the ice.
Polar ice caps, glaciers. Exactly. Can you drink a glacier?
No.
It's frozen solid. Can't drink a glacier. Okay. The yellow represents another kind of water that's on the face of the earth. And maybe this is drinking water, but maybe this isn't water that's real easy to get to. So I wonder where this water might be located. Okay, so let's see, what kind of water might this be?
Gas.
Not gas, but good guess.
Drinking water.
Drinking water, we're not quite there yet. It is drinking water, but where is it located? Where might we find this?
In a pond.
No, but keep that in mind a little bit.
Underground.
Underground, excellent. Groundwater, water that's under the ground. They call it an aquifer. So you have to drill a big hole, put a big pipe like a straw, and then we can suck it up to get it. But it takes us a lot to get down to that. This little skinny black stripe. Little skinny black stripe.
Lake water.
Lakes, rivers, streams. So out of all of the water that's on the face of the earth, less than 1% is fresh water that we can easily get to, that's readily available to us. Out of all of this water, less than 1%. Say that with me.
Less than 1%. Very interesting.
So we have to be very careful with our water supplies, and that's why we talked about recycled water. Even though we're not using it as drinking water, it offsets our drinking water supplies because we use it to water the landscape, and then we don't have to use our drinking water to water the landscape. Okay? I have a story I'm going to tell you, but before I tell you the story, I'm going to give you a little test. See what you know about a water situation we're currently going through. But this is how it's going to work. I'm going to ask you all a question, and you're going to sit there. You're not going to raise your hand. You're not going to call out. You're just going to sit there, and I'm going to give you the answers while you sit there. The second time I ask the question, here's the question, then I'm going to say, is it this answer? And as a group, you're going to say yes or no. Is it this? Yes or no. Is it this? Yes or no. Okay, first time you're just sitting there. You're not raising your hand. You're not calling out. You're just listening. Second time, you're answering as a group. Not calling out, not raising your hand. Just saying yes or no when I ask you. Do you guys understand that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to see if you're better than class yesterday. Okay. Class yesterday could not get it. I'm going to see how you guys do. But you guys are amazing, so true. Here we go. Where did Miss Eileen go?
Oh, I thought this was leaking, but it's okay.
It leaks
It's fine,
sometimes.
yeah.
Okay, it's
I'll
good.
keep an eye on it. Make sure it don't
Okay,
leak.
all right, good. Okay, question. What is a drought? Is it A, when you're unsure about something? Is it B, too much rainfall? Or is it C, when an area has not had enough rainfall for a long period of time? What is a drought? Is it A, when you're unsure about something?
No.
Is it B, too much rainfall?
No.
Is it C, when an area has not had enough rainfall for a long period of time?
Yes.
Oh, they did good.
They're
Good job,
amazing.
you guys.
Excellent. Okay, I kind of
good.
expected that from
Yeah.
them. Very good. Okay, good. Question number 2. California is currently in the midst of a drought. Is it A, true, or is it B, false? California is currently in the midst of a drought. Is it A, true?
Yes.
Is it B, false?
No.
They know their drought information.
They are
Good.
amazing. They are
How
2
did
for
you
2.
guys?
Hashtag drought. Okay, like that one. Okay, here we go. Question number 3. What is the driest year on record? Is it A, 1776? Is it B, 1914? Or is it C, 2013? What is the driest year on record? Is it A, 1776?
No.
Is it B, 1914?
No.
Is it C, 2013?
Yes.
Oh
know
my,
their
they're
drought.
just doing so good. You know, I think you guys are going to get 100%. There's only one more question
They
left.
are amazing. I think they're doing really good.
Doing really
Okay.
good.
All right, so here we go. Here we go. Last question. What can all of us do now, but really always? What can we all do to make a difference during the drought and always? Okay. Is it A, water the grass every day to make sure it stays green?
Oh. Oopsie. You know what? I was just waving at all of them. Hi, you guys. Hi. It's good to see you guys.
Has she been telling you the answers?
No.
Have you been telling them the answers?
Let me think about that. It's kind of like yes, no. Oh.
What can we all do to make a difference during the drought and always? Is it A, water the grass every day to make sure it stays?
Oh, there's a bird over there. He goes over there.
To make sure it stays green. Is it B, use a broom instead of a hose to clean your driveway? Or is it C, plant a huge flower garden?
B.
What can we all do to make a difference during the drought and always? Is it A, water the grass every day?
No.
Is it B, use a broom? Is it C, plant a huge flower garden? Give yourself a big hand. You could have done it without her. Okay, now I'm going to tell you guys a story about a little town called Hemet. Does anybody know where Hemet is?
Yeah, we're living in it right now.
You live in Hemet? Well, you're in San Jacinto right now, so I didn't know that, okay? And I'm going to tell you a story about a kid that goes to school there, and do you guys know where Little Lake Elementary is?
Yeah, we go to that.
Are you kidding me? That's really wow. That's amazing.
That's crazy. Well, there's a kid that goes to school there, and his name is Leo, and Leo got student of the month.
What?
Leo, we have
You
Leo.
have Leo in your class. Your name's what?
Hi, Leo.
You guys not know this.
Oh, this is just crazy. Okay, well, Leo got student of the month, and he goes home and he tells his brother Gabriel that he got student of the month. And Gabriel,
There's a Gabriel and a Leo. Where's Gabriel? I didn't see where. The two stars in our
except
story.
in this story, Gabriel's old enough to drive. So they decide that they're going to go to In-N-Out Burger to celebrate. So they get in their cute truck, or their cool truck. Yeah, cute. Cool. Okay, and they are on their way to In-N-Out Burger. But as they're on their way to In-N-Out Burger, they notice that the car's leaking oil. So, they think, okay, we need to talk to our mom and dad about it, but they're thinking, oh, we're going to go to In-N-Out Burger real quick. We'll talk to them when we get back. Okay, so we'll discuss this in just a little bit. So they're on their way to In-N-Out Burger. Miss Eileen, how do we know it's In-N-Out Burger?
We know because
In-N-Out, In-N-Out, that's one of the hamburgers.
Oh,
Okay, they know
They
it.
watch TV, okay. They're on it.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, really? Well, there's a first time for everything, right? Today? All right, so they're eating, they're having a great time, and then Gabriel's talking about the wastewater treatment tour. He's saying, you know, everything that goes down the drain, it ends up there at the wastewater treatment plant. They clean it, recycle it out in the community. And then Leo says, did you know that sometimes businesses dump chemicals into our lakes and rivers and streams? Now, most of them don't. Most of them follow the rules, but some of them think, it's no big deal. Have a seat, guys. It's no big deal. Doesn't affect anybody. It's not a big deal. I can do it. But it is a big deal, and we'll see that in just a minute. So they're eating, having a good time, and then pretty soon Gabriel's ready to leave, and he says, come on, Leo. And Leo says, I'm not done eating. And he says, well, bring your burger with you. So Leo grabs his burger, they hop in the car, and they take off. Driving down the street. Hey, you're a good driver, Gabriel, not speeding or anything.
Very
Good job.
good.
And then pretty soon, Leo finishes eating his burger, and he says, okay, I'm done with my burger. Gabriel, what do I do with the wrapper? Well, they don't have a trash can in the car. They don't want to wait till they get home. They should, but they don't want to. And then they look at it, and you guys, it's one wrapper. It's no big deal. So they toss it out the window. But if they toss out one wrapper, and then everybody in this room tosses out a wrapper, and then everyone in the 4th grade at Little Lake tosses out a wrapper, one wrapper makes a big difference, okay? So they're driving down the road, they're having a good time, and then they see people out working on their yards, and they're fertilizing to make sure everything looks beautiful, but not everybody's careful with the fertilizer they use. Not everybody uses an environmentally safe fertilizer, and they think, it's no big deal, it doesn't affect anyone but me. But it does, and we'll see that in a minute. Then they grow nice plants and fruits and vegetables, and then the bugs come. And when the bugs come, they get the pesticides. And when they get the pesticides, again, not everybody's careful with it, and they don't make sure it's environmentally safe, and they say, I have a fence around my yard, it's no big deal, it doesn't affect anyone but me, but it does, and we'll see that in just a minute, okay? So they're on their way home, they turn the corner, and when they turn the corner, they see people out in the park walking their dogs, and those dogs are doing what dogs will do on a walk. How many of you have seen that? People walking their dogs, and they don't clean up after them. Hands down, we have a lot of parents. I want to hear the truth from all of you. Be honest. How many of you have your own poop piles in the backyard? Be honest. Okay, thank you. And I know what you're saying to your parents. I don't need to clean up after the dogs. No one cleans up after the animals in the forest. The animals in the forest don't have hardscapes. They don't have roads and driveways and sidewalks. We do. We have to take care of our pets. We have to clean up after them. Their waste is full of pathogens, nasty, bad stuff. We need to clean it up. At my house, we go on poop patrol. Scoop it, put it in a bag, toss it in the trash can. We have 2 dogs. Is that what you do?
I have one.
Okay, but it takes me 2 minutes every day. It doesn't matter. If you do it, that's what makes a difference. And not only are you going to do something with your parents, you're going to do something huge for the environment, and you'll see that in just a minute. Okay, they're on their way home, and they decide they need to get some gas.
She said gas. Gas. I thought they got a hamburger, not a big bean burrito. Gas.
On the count of 3.
That is so third grade.
That is so third grade. Oh, yeah, I know. Never mind.
So they get some fuel for their car, and when they fill it up, it stops at $29.12. And when it stops at $29.12, that should be it. But instead, they decide to top off the tank. And when they top off the tank, gas goes over the ground. And when the gas goes over the ground, it automatically becomes part of the water cycle because as soon as the sun warms it up, it begins to evaporate and it forms into big white fluffy
Cloud.
and then it comes down as
Rain.
okay. And there's a really nasty bad rain. What's that called? Does anybody know?
Thunderstorm.
No, it's a nasty.
Hail. Tornado.
No, it's not natural. It's a bad, nasty rain.
Hail.
Rain that's got bad stuff in it. Acid.
Acid.
What?
Oh,
Acid.
very good.
Say that with me. Acid.
Acid.
Acid rain. Nasty bad stuff. It's not a good thing. Okay? So, they're on. You know what, Miss Ellie?
What?
They have had a really bad day. So you've had a bad day. You take it one down.
You sing a sad song, just turn it around. You probably don't like. Oh, but sorry. I used to really like that song and got a little carried away.
They grew out of
None
it.
of you knew this song?
I do.
I
What did you sing with me?
I forgot it.
Okay. She did too. I don't remember those words. So as they're coming down the road and they turn the corner, they see a man standing on the corner and he's smoking a cigarette. As he's smoking the cigarette, he's putting the cigarette butts and ashes on the ground. The thing about cigarettes is that they're full of carcinogens. Say that word with me. Carcinogens. Carcinogens are cancer-causing agents, so now that has the potential to affect all of us and not just that person there. So as they're driving and they get home, they pull into the driveway and it starts to rain. Now at first it's just a little rain. Little rain, woo, little rain. But then we have a bigger rain. So back row I need this. Middle row I need this. Bottom row I need this. Let's get it going. Come on. The rain starts. Now let's have some thunder and lightning. Two things. One, that was an excellent rainstorm. And two, all joking aside, this is our watershed. This is where our drinking water comes from. This is Diamond Valley Lake. This is Lake Matthews. This is Lake Paris. This is where we get our drinking water supply. Now, as a water agency, we have to clean that up and make it safe for you to drink. But it takes more time, energy, and money. Whereas if we had all done our job on this part of it, we wouldn't have this to contend with. Now, some of you are saying, well, hey, what about the groundwater? Why don't we just drink the groundwater? That's a great idea, except whatever you do on top of the earth affects us beneath the earth. And this is how it works. If you look at this right here, this is a cutaway of the earth. If you were to cut through the earth, you would see that on the top layer, you would have green grass and shrubs and trees. Below that, you would have soil. Yeah, it's okay. And below that, you would have the soil. Then below that, you'd have a sticky clay layer kind of holding everything in. Then below that, you have an aquifer area. And the aquifer area is the rocks. And then the water seeps, penetrates, percolates down beneath the soil, and it gathers there. It collects there. When it collects there, then you can drill a well, or put a big hole there, put a big pipe, and then you can bring it up. Kind of like if you take a glass, put some ice in it, add water to it, and put a straw in it, and take a drink. That's how a well works. So that's how you can get this water. Maybe in some areas you have an aquatar, some more aquifer area, and if you're in Idlewild or Big Bear, you're on top of fractured bedrock. You're from Hemet. You go over to Moreno Valley, and you're at In-N-Out Burger, and you're eating, and then you see some lady walking her dog, and then her dog does his business, and you think, that's nasty. Gosh, I hope that she cleans up after him, and she doesn't. She walks away. You think, that is bad. It's going to affect these people. How sad. Here's the thing. When the rains come and everything begins to move, whatever happens on top of the earth doesn't stay on top of the earth. It ends up penetrating the soil, and then it doesn't stay in one area. It ends up affecting another area. Or some people have septic tank. It's a sewer system in your yard. Nothing wrong with that. It means you're not close enough to the sewer pipes to connect. So someone digs a big hole in your yard, they put a big container, connect all your pipes to it, dirt, grass, swing set, you're good to go. But you have to take care of it. Not everybody does that. You need to clean it, you need to pump it, you need to put enzymes. Not everybody does that. They use it and use it and use it. And it becomes full, and they continue to use it, and they haven't cleaned it, and when they continue to use it, it doesn't stay confined. It ends up affecting areas around it. So now you've got this big mess. But you say, well, you know what, we do have the groundwater, we've got the clean groundwater, let's go ahead and drill a well. So you drill a well, then you find out whatever you do on top of the earth affects us beneath the earth. Even if you drill a well in another area, whatever happens on top of the earth affects us beneath the earth. Whatever you do in Hemet affects Moreno Valley. Whatever you do in Moreno Valley affects Menifee. Whatever you do in Menifee affects Hemet. Whatever you do in California affects Kentucky. Whatever you do in Kentucky affects New York. Whatever you do in New York affects California. Whatever you do in the U.S. affects Mexico. Whatever you do in Mexico affects Africa. Whatever you do in Africa affects the United States. Anything you do on the earth, anywhere on the earth, affects the earth inside and out. When I was your age, we didn't do anything about the environment. Not because we didn't care, we hadn't learned. You're learning at a young age, and you have the chance to make a difference, and it starts with a wrapper. You have a wrapper, it goes in a trash can. You don't just toss it somewhere. If you see someone throw a wrapper on the ground, ask them to pick it up if you know them. If you don't know them and it's safe to, you pick it up and put it in the trash can. I was telling the group that the other day, and this little girl said, well, then that means we're a maid. We're being a maid for them. And I said, we are all maids for our country. We have to take care of it, because if we don't, we end up with a terrible mess. And then if you know someone who changes the oil in their car and they dump it in a field, tell them to take it to a recycling center. If you do that, you can make a difference. Miss Eileen is getting this ready for the next tour. She's going to pump it and flush it out and clean it up, and before you leave today, it's ready for the next tour. That's exactly how the earth works, but instead of it taking 30 minutes, it takes years, and it all begins with you. And you see that she's flushing this out and pumping it out, and then the rains come and clean it. If we start cleaning it and then the rains come, that cleans it out, pretty soon we're going to have a beautiful earth. And how that works is that the solution to pollution is dilution. Can you all say that with me? The solution to pollution is dilution. And you all have the potential to make an impact. And I want you to think of one more thing. Do you remember a few years ago when they had the big earthquake in Japan, and then they had the tsunami? The tsunami did not affect Japan. It went worldwide. That's exactly what is happening here. We're all connected. Everything is connected, no matter what. We're all connected, and we all have to work together to make a difference, okay? And how I know that we can make a difference is I've lived in this valley for more than 50 years. When I was little, your age, there was a big chunk of brown that hung in the air. They called it smog. It was awful. Then they started making people get catalytic converters for their cars. It cost more money. People were not happy. But you know that? Once they did that, things started to change, and we don't have that brown haze that hangs in this valley anymore. So I know that working together, we can all make a difference, and it all starts with you. Does anybody have any questions just about this, not about anything else, just about this that we've done?